Hi guys and welcome to Fandom Newbie. My name is Shruti and today I am doing my Q&A video. Now I put up this post on my community tab a few days ago and a bunch of you left questions down in the comment section of that post. So I'm gonna try to get to as many as possible because there are quite a few, but yeah, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so the first question comes from Anush and he asks, is YouTube your only source of income and which country are you living in right now? No, YouTube is not my only source of income. In fact, I hardly earn anything from YouTube. I do have a full-time job. I work as a video producer at a startup here in Singapore. So that also answers your second question. The country I'm currently living in is Singapore. The next question comes from Devula Palli Vivek. I hope I am pronouncing your name right. I'm really sorry if I'm not. But he asked, have you visited the Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme park? Yes, I have. I went back in 2013, I think it was. I visited it before they did the whole Diagon Alley section. Like, I haven't visited the Gringotts Bank section. I visited Hogsmeade and Hogwarts, like the first one. So yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. If any of you ever do go, have the frozen butterbeer rather than the normal butterbeer because the frozen butterbeer is much better. The next question comes from Indumati Shivakumar and she asks, what's your experience reading YA as an adult? Do you find your taste is diverging and will you continue reading YA? This is such a good question because yes, I have actually been finding that my taste has kind of diverged away from YA over the past like few years. YA books still hold a very dear place in my heart because I love YA, like contemporary YA novels as well as YA fantasy. I think YA fantasy is something that I will never move away from. One of the things that I've noticed when I'm reading YA books now as an adult, I just find some tropes to be like very childish, and there are some characters who I just can't relate to anymore as an adult and I find them very childish. So that's definitely happening with YA contemporary books, but yeah, YA fantasy is love. The next question comes from Shalu Walia and she asks, who in the booktube community inspires you the most and any piece of advice for budding booktubers? So in the Indian booktube community, I feel that my biggest inspiration is definitely Manpreet, Indian booktuber. She's just like stuck to it through and through. Like, she was probably one of the first ones to start a booktube channel way back in like maybe what, 2015, 2014 maybe, like I don't know exactly, but like she was one of the first ones to do it and she's been there through all these years, posting regularly, having another vlog channel. So yeah, like I've had my ups and downs with YouTube and I don't know, like I don't know how she's been so regular and how she could like do this for so many years and still come up with so many great video ideas and have a great community. So yeah. And as for advice for budding booktubers, I don't think I've reached that level yet or I've done this enough to be giving advice, but I guess yeah, the best advice I can give is to be as regular as possible. It's something that I've struggled with in the past for sure, but yeah, just even if it's one video in 2 weeks, if that's your schedule, then just like stick to it as much as you can. Yeah, so that would be my advice, at least for now, is to try to be as regular with your videos as possible. So the next question comes from Jasmine and she asks, do you think it's possible to self-learn video editing? Yes, it is possible to teach yourself editing. I self-taught myself editing as well. There are hundreds of YouTube videos, thousands of YouTube videos which teach you how to edit videos. So just keep watching tutorials online. I mean, they're free. So just keep watching tutorials online and then basically teach yourself using those tutorials. Some of the tutorials are very like step by step, so they teach you in a really good way. So yeah, watch tutorials online and just play around with the software and in the end, I think you'll be a pro. The next question comes from Prantik and he asks, why did you stop making videos for 3 years? Okay, that's a very good question and the answer is really long and I think I can make just an entire video on this whole thing because it's basically my entire journey as a content creator and it's like it's my full life's journey basically that I have to go into. So I will address this question, but maybe I'll just make a full separate video on it. The next question comes from both Yashvi and Severus Snape. They both asked me about my favorite Harry Potter books and to rank the Harry Potter books. Okay, my favorite Harry Potter book is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. That is my #1 Harry Potter book. For ranking the Harry Potter books, also I feel like I'll do it in a separate video because I have a lot to talk about the 7 Harry Potter books. So yeah, but know that my #1 is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I love the 4th book. It's my absolute favorite. So the next questions come from Rainbow Reader and Katyayani Chaudhary. They both have asked kind of like a similar question, so I'm grouping their questions together. So they basically asked what age did I start reading books, what was my inspiration for reading, and what was the book that got me into reading. I think I started reading books when I was 7 years old, maybe 6 or 7 years old. I was in the third standard. So that's when I started reading books. My biggest inspiration for reading books would definitely, I think, be my mom. My mom used to read me stories from when I was 2 years old. Like, she would read me all the Disney stories. Like, I had like a whole stack of Disney books that she would read to me. She would read to me almost every night, I think. And I would also see her reading books. Like, she used to read a lot of novels, and she used to read the Reader's Digest, which was like a magazine back in the day. So yeah, I used to always see her reading. So she was definitely my inspiration and what got me into reading books, because she made it such a priority in our lives. But I also think, because I don't know if you guys know this, I grew up in the US. So from the age of like 3 to 10, we lived in the US, and the education system in the US forces you to read. Like, I remember from, I think, the 2nd standard or 3rd standard, we had to do book reports. So every month or every 2 months, we had to pick a book and read it and then analyze the book. Like, analyze the characters' intentions, analyze what the author is trying to say, like the main message of the book. So I think that also really helped, because from that young age, the education system really put in, like, it really drilled into your head that reading is important and reading is good and analyzing a book is very good. So yeah, definitely the education system in the US helped, and my mom. Those are my biggest inspirations to start reading. And the last question for today comes from Irin, and that is, which is your favorite YA novel and why? If it's YA fantasy, then the Ember in the Ashes series. I've made an entire video as to why I love this series, so you guys should check it out. But if it is a standalone book, then does The Book Thief count as YA? I think it does. Then it would be The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. That book is just beautifully written. It's been a while since I read that book, but what I remember loving about that book is that it was written from Death's point of view. Like, Death is the narrator in that book, and I think that was amazing, because it is set during the Holocaust, when of course there was just so much death and destruction everywhere. So just having the point of view of the book be from Death in that sense was just absolutely bone-chilling and amazing, and it's so good. So I highly recommend The Book Thief. Please, please, please read it. So yeah, that was my very first Q&A video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of the questions I got were a bit like repeated, so if I didn't give your question a shout out, I'm really sorry, but I hope at least I was able to answer it through this video. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know about your reading journey. What was the age that you guys started reading books? And of course, do subscribe to my channel for more book related videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.